So this is Steve Ridgel, and this is my dog Remi. And y'all have met Remi before. She's been on this video a couple of times, and occasionally she comes through the office, just sticks her head up and kind of says hi. So this is Remi here, and I'm going to tell you why Remi's on today's video. Because Remi made a bad mistake. Now, on my birthday, my wife Marcia typically fixes chocolate pie for me. So we had chocolate pie, and it's sitting on the counter, but it's at the back of the counter. But Remi's pretty athletic, and I don't know what it was. She was going by, and something about that chocolate smelled so good, she had to rear up, crane her neck as far forward as she could, and start licking the chocolate pie. Now, she knows better than to do that. She knows not to get on the cabinet. She knows not to lick chocolate pie. And chocolate's bad for dogs if you don't know that. Now, I don't think she licked enough to do any damage, but if you feed dogs chocolate long enough, they can die from it. So it's a pretty serious thing. There's a reason we don't want Remi jumping up on the cabinet and licking chocolate. Because it's bad for her. And so we don't want her to do that. And so there's some consequences. She's in her cage a little more, and we're being a little more careful about keeping things out of reach from her. But that's a bad thing. And you know what? When I was in the middle of working through all that and disciplining her and all of that, I thought, I wonder how God feels when I go by and He's got these things that are not good for me. And boy, they just look so good or smell so good or chocolate's so good, whatever it is that tempts you. And somehow, before we know it, we're up on the cabinet licking the chocolate pie. You know, an awful lot of things God says don't do is because long term they're dangerous for us. And God knows that. God wants us to have healthy, happy, productive lives. He wants us to have healthy, happy, productive relationships. And He knows there are things that damage our marriage, damage our friends, damage our self-worth, damage our spiritual life. God knows that. And so He says, don't do this. And so as much as I hate that Remi did what she did, it was a really good reminder to me to remember that, you know, God has a reason for telling me how I ought to live. He really does. And I don't care how good the chocolate pie looks. It's not good for me when I try to eat it. So, Remi, I hope you're going to be okay from all that. And Remi, I hope you don't do that again. And Remi, we have a reason we don't want you eating chocolate pie and jumping on the cabinet. And so just like God does with me, Remi, I still love you. Remi, you're forgiven. But Remi, let's try not to do it anymore. And God, when sometimes I mess up and jump for those things that I shouldn't, I'm sorry. And forgive me, and I want to do better. And that's kind of the lesson for all of us, is that God knows what's best. And when we don't follow His instructions, let's do better.